Well, here we go. Got the blue car outside. Moved the wagon back on the lift. So today, got my hood on. Not really cold, but cool. Early morning. Camera's shaking around on my tripod. Let's see if we can get this camera fixed. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yep, got her outside. We're going to get this baby sanded down. Now last time we worked on this, we set that latch and stuff up on the trunk lid, and I've since sanded it down. So the voice came over and done a little body work here on our door handles. That side still needs a little work. This side over here, the passenger side, it looks pretty good. So now it's basically time to get this thing sanded completely down. Yeah. Axle's hooking up the cords now. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to do probably a 220 all over, and then go back over it with a 320 just to smooth and blend everything in. Also, at the end of that last video when we were messing with that trunk, you know, I'd said I had 2 or 3 patches in the floor. I got those done. It ended up being more than 2 or 3 patches. I got into that trans tunnel and that turned into a little train wreck. So as you can see, there was the patch panels that we put in, that I ended up putting in, and then had to remake a trans tunnel and a little door over there for the master cylinder. But now the floor in this thing is completely solid. So that's where we're at with that. But today, the main goal today is to get the whole body sanded down, ready to wash and ready to tape up paint, and hopefully get to that floor pan too. Now I'm not going to bore you with an hour, 2, 3 hours worth of sanding, but I will put it on the tripod and let it run, and we'll fast forward through some of it, and we'll hit on the high spots as we're going through this thing and what we're looking for and what we find under that Easter egg blue, which is appropriate because Easter's coming up. So, all right, that's what we're doing. That's where we're going. This is how we get there. Let's get on it. You ready?
Yep.
Alright, Bubba's here now. They're setting that seat out, and he is going to start on the inside floor pan. He's basically just going to take a wire wheel, go over that whole floor pan in there, and knock off all the surface rust and dirt so we can blow all that out. And me and Axelrod, we about got this body sanded down. We're moving right along with it. It's just it's a slow process, but we've got 3/4 of the car done now. And with him starting on the inside, we're going to be in good shape here pretty soon. We're going to knock this thing out today and have it, you know, ready to prep for paint. Well, I've recruited the whole family out here now. I even got Miss Amanda out here sanding. Tyler's knocking out the floor pan. Axel's finishing up that front driver's fender. And I'm, well, talking, but I was sanding. We're about done with this. We're about ready to blow it off and bring it back in the shop. All right, and here's what we got after sanding it down. She's pretty smooth. A lot of paint on this car. But it looks better to me this way than it did before, actually. We use 220, 320, and 180 for the really bad spots. We'll rub this car down completely with Scotch-Brite pad too before we, you know, paint. Still got some Bondo work to do back here on the trunk lid. I'll show you. We're going to take that trunk lid off because it needs a little bit more of attention on the inside of the lid, on the edge. So we're going to take it off and actually weld it up. But overall, the car looks pretty good. Floor pan cleaned up real nice in this. We've got 2 patches I still need to put in that I found. And you're always going to find something when you get a wire wheel on this stuff. So we're going to put in 2 patches today, which will be easy. Won't be too bad. But other than that, yeah, she's getting there. We've still got Bondo and sanding work to do on the dash. And we still got to get the garbage bag headliner down. But we're getting there. The voice come over and help me with the Bondo on the dash and stuff like that, so I'll just show you where we're at. Me and Bubba were fooling around with it after we sanded this car down, and we went ahead and started on that visor. Here, stick for the center section. We're going to fix that too today. But I didn't have bracketry, and as you know, we're on a budget. And yes, today I'm going to go over some of the receipts and show you what I've got invested so far. But we mounted the visor. Now, this is a rat rod, keep that in mind, and it's a budget rat rod. We didn't have brackets, so we took what we had and we made some. I'm going to make a center bracket too. I've got a piece of co-roll bar over there that will bend up. I'll show some of that. Try to get to that today too. But like I said last night, we worked on that dash, and I've got these door jambs in primer now. They're ready to paint. And the dash, we got all that patched in. Got some body filler on there and got it sanded down. It's almost ready to paint. Got the trash bag headliner down and sanded this roof out too a little bit. Now, I don't have a headliner for that. Not going to buy one. So I'm going to paint the roof in this car, try to make it look as good as we can. Like I said, this is a rat rod and we are on a very tight budget. Tell you something, people, $500 don't go where it used to. Let's take a look at that trunk lid. All kinds of stuff sitting up here on it now, but yeah, that's not very good. It is condensed right here to this one strip, this outer or inner strip, if you will. You can see it's actually separated from the skin. So I'm thinking we'll cut this bad away down through here and replace this section here and weld back into this. And then right here, we'll cut this section out and weld in a new section there. And that should make it good and strong and secure. I mean, I'm not sure that I want to sell the car, but if I did or traded it, I wouldn't want to trade it like that. Nobody wants to get it like that. Whoever buys it or trades me for it, they're just going to have to immediately go in there and fix that. That's not how I like to do things. So we'll fix it. Yes, I know it's a rat rod, but still, you want it to be solid, right? So we're going to fix that. That's on the agenda today. Center support for this old school visor. That is on the agenda today. A little bit more body sanding is on the agenda today. And some painting is on the agenda today. We got the edge cut off here now. I've got that bad edge cut off. So, just this outer edge. I left this little bit right here, the factory lip that was left. When I put this piece in right here, I'll just pinch this back down. Somebody's cut this off. Wish it was still there. But we have this little bit, so every little bit will help, I guess. So we'll pinch that back. But I'm going to cut a piece now. Sheet metal go down through here. And I'm going to weld it to this piece right here. I'll weld it, tack weld on the ends down here. Once I get that piece, the next thing we'll do is probably cut this top section out on these lines I have drawn and put a piece in here, and then we'll tackle this spot right here. Well, here's what we have now. Have that new piece of metal cut out all the way across there. I have her good and clamped up, and as you can see here, I can just pull that down as I go through and tack, and the edges look good. So I believe we're ready to weld this one up, so I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld it in. We'll come back and take a look at it.
You're cutting straight down this line, ain't you?
No, cut it right here, right on the edge. Right through that bad right there. We want to take this top section out. Okay. I want to put a strip straight in across here. Yeah, we're getting into it now. We got the back seat out. Top's ready, almost to paint the dash. Door jambs have been going over inner doors. We got the rest of the body, and the voice is working on the trunk lid. Tyler's cleaning up this mess. Alright, we've got a lot of work done. This place is a real mess. Trunk lid is mounted back on now. We've got the back seats out. I went ahead and cleaned the inside of this car. As you can tell, I'm sneezing, but yeah. So right here's what we have on the inside now. We've cleaned all that, sanded. Still got just a little bit to pull in the back deck. And right over there in that corner over there. But the roof is sanded smooth. All the trim around the windshield sanded smooth. The dash is real smooth and looks real good. We've got the trunk lid back on. The voice done that. He just put a second coat of Bondo on it. So the trunk lid is coming along. Glad to see it back on the car. Well, I don't like Bondo. Makes a mess. And if you're wondering how thick that Bondo is, you can see the metal poking through. It's a skin coat. It's not nothing major, nothing to write home about. We've got all these pieces here around the windows sanded and the trim. All down here around the trim. So I'm thinking now we're gonna clean this mess up and we're gonna start painting. So let me get on cleaning this up and then we'll blow some paint and look at it. 194. Alright, Bubba's getting her cleaned up now so we can start blowing some paint here pretty soon. And Miss A over there is working on our figures for what we've got totaled in this thing now. We've got her good and clean in here. Bubba's really doing a good job here. Getting her wiped down good. We're going to paint the door jambs, the dash, and I'm going to roller paint the roof. Now I've not done this before. This is going to be new for this car. I've never roll painted a car before, but we're going to try it and see. Oh, did you figure up the Rust-Oleum that you bought?
I did not.
Well, on that Rust-Oleum, you need to divide it by 2.
Okay.
Because I'm going to use some of that paint on the Bronco.
Okay.
And some of these other cars. So as you can see, she is doing the math. And I got all the paint products that I bought for this car. I've got them laid out right here. We'll talk a little bit about those and show you what I got, where I got it, why I got it. Well, let's be honest, I got it because of price. Yeah. You know, that implement paint is cheap paint to buy. It's typically really good paint, so I've painted implement paint before and I've not had issues with it. Did you bring the Rust-Oleum paint out?
I did. It's on the shelf.
All right. I've been kindly sort of keeping track of what I've spent on this car because, you know, I wanted to stay inside that $300 to $500 budget. Well, we've about got everything bought for it now, so we'll see where we're at. I'm gonna grab that paint, that can of black that I bought, just so I can show you guys everything that I'm using here. I like Rust-Oleum products. Their products are typically good products. We use a lot of Rust-Oleum products, don't we?
We do.
So here's everything that I got. This is the hardener for this magic paint right here, and that's the reducer. I got this at Rural King. This is the color match spray bomb that is the same color as this. I got the spray bomb for the door jambs and to cut in and stuff like that. And then here I've got just some you know, cheap Walmart semi-gloss. I've got a couple of cans of this tan for the floor, and we've used 2 cans of this primer. I got this right here at, well, you got it at Ace Hardware. It was like $17 a quart. It's oil base. Make sure you when you do metal in these cars, you want oil base. And a couple of Dollar-Stove rollers for this right here. That, oh, and some of this white caulk to seal up some of the seams around the floor pan. So, as far as price, where are we at on price?
$204.04.
All right, everything I bought so far totals up to $204.04. Now add in the $139 master cylinder. I had to buy a master cylinder. I got it offline, so I don't have the receipt.
$139.
$139.
Okay.
And here comes the totals, and here's all the receipts. And you can see I do my shopping for my cars at Home Depot and Walmart, Standard Auto Parts, and Rural King.
That's 139. It's $343.04.
All right, we're at 343. So we're over the first threshold, which was $300. But we said we wanted to stay as close to that as we could, and we got close. I mean, I've got about everything. I wanted to save a little fluff built in because I want to buy some center caps for this thing.
And tires.
I don't have to buy tires.
Oh, yes.
The Voice brought me a set of tires and donated them for this project. Now, I've had a lot of people, you know, Hot Rod Ted, he donated some pieces and parts. The Voice, he donated some tires and a lot of time on that Bondo and stuff. Everything else we've used, I've had off other projects or laying around in here. So we're doing pretty good there. We're right on track. I think you was going to buy a little bit of material to wrap the, yeah, and we got to get some carpet for the floor, and she needs to get some material for the armrest in the back, and maybe some material for the door panels, which you can see right here. I have some pieces of wood left over, and that's what we'll make our door panels off of. So there's that. And I know everybody, you know, a lot of people have been wondering about that, you know, when I was going to tally everything up. So Now let me jump on this paint now. Bubba's about got everything ready, clean and ready to go. I'm going to jump on this paint. We're going to paint the door jambs, the dash, and we're going to paint the inside roof. So that's that, and this is that, and that's where we're going, and painting is what we're doing, and let's get on with it. Me rambling on about it. We are painting, working on the door jambs now. We've got the dash, the top.
And we got the roof all painted in black. Mainly done with all roll on.
Yeah,
and then a little bit of spray painting on the railing.
I've seen people spray paint or roll on car paint on YouTube before, but they done the outside.
They probably use that auto level and stuff.
Well, you're probably right. I don't know, you know.
Let me get a shot of that. And that gray looks good.
Yeah, it's a good color for this car because this car is rough. It's a rat rod, it's rough. And it seems to cover really good. One thing I will say about this paint, I've painted with a lot of spray can paint. This paint right here, if you're not easy with it, it'll run. I could see it running really easy. We've got the dash flashing off now.
Alright, got all the door jambs painted. Dash is painted. All the roof is done. And here's a little sneak peek of what the door and the body will look like with that gray on it.
Pleased with the way it turned out, the door jambs and everything. Well, if you guys are wondering, that dash, the door jambs, and then I painted a little bit. Well, I kind of just dusted over the inner door. I dusted over the inner door just slightly, and if you're wondering, that was a 1 3/4 of this spray can. Now we're not going to do the body in spray can. We're going to shoot it out of that gallon I showed you earlier. So we got a lot done today. Got the trunk lids back on, pretty much sewed up and welded up the back side of it. We got the rest of the car sanded down. The door jambs are painted, the dash painted. We got the roof painted. So we're moving right along. We went over the finances. You know, you've seen, you know, the finances, what we got in it. So I'm gonna tell you, you know, if that magic tractor paint turns out as good on the rest of the car as it did that we test them doors with and them jams and that dash, I'm worrying for this car's gonna be really nice. I'm really pleased with it, and for the price, you can't beat the price. I mean, the cheapest can of paint that you can get at Walmart, I think $6, give or take. That Magic Tractor paint right there is $7.99 a can, and you could buy a whole gallon of it for $45. Now I halved it because I'm going to paint my little daily driver truck too with the other half of that gallon. So 1 gallon, I'm getting 2 paint jobs. If they turn out like these jams and that dash, I mean, hey, I'm sold on it. I've used tractor paint before. It's not my first rodeo, but I've never used this brand. I've used John Deere, Blitz Black, and John Deere products. I've used them for years for painting rat rods, flat black motorcycles and stuff out of a spray gun, and I've even used their spray cans too. And it's really good stuff, and it's about the same price. You just, with John Deere, you only have options of gloss black, Blitz Black, which is flat, John Deere green, of course, and yellow, and then construction paint. That's it. But you know, we got a lot done today. Couple of weeks, this car will be done. So we're looking roughly around 5 weekends with this car, and hopefully under $500 that we invested to remake the whole car. Now, that's what you can do with a little bit of money and some time. Now, obviously this car was solid, and we knew that. We'd looked at it in the junkyard many times before we pulled it out. We got lucky with the engine running relatively easy, and the brakes just needing a set of shoes and a master cylinder. So, you know, if you go pull one out of a creek bottom, you're not going to be able to, you know, you can't put a motor suspension. Everybody knows that. But if you've got one that you just want to put some makeup on it, something cool to drive to the cruise in, you've already got it running, you don't need to put a lot of money into it. You just need to put a lot of time. And 5 weekends into this, and 3-4 of us working on it a lot. So, you know, there you go.
Some elbow grease and TLC goes a long way.
Elbow grease and TLC goes a heck of a long way. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. And we'll catch you guys next time. And next time that we're out, we'll show that paint dry. So until then, y'all have a nice rest of the weekend. We'll catch you next time. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, the bell for notifications, and check out our Facebook page. Guys, have a nice weekend. See you next time.